Yes, people, we are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV Twitch. Sarcasm City TV Twitch, Sarcasm City TV YouTube for another Sarcasm City Sports Q&A, the daily, well, the one that's in the daytime. I will now move this show to 5:30, so apologies on the lateness, people, but you will get the Q&A on Friday at 5:30 p.m. UK time. And for those that haven't seen the Sarcasm City Sports Q&As before, the audience, you lot in the comments get to run the show. All the citizens of the city of Sarcasm get to run the show. So get your sporting questions in. It could be any sport, people. It can be football, it can be boxing, it can be basketball, it can be NFL, F1, whatever you want to ask about. So please, first and foremost, get your questions in. And if you are a member of the channel, link for the membership is in the pinned comment. Your question takes priority like a super chat. So if you're a member of the channel, I will start your question and I will get to it. And of course, if you do indeed super chat, I will get straight to your comment or question as well. Big up my G Lewis for the raid as well. So large up to Lewis every single time, even though he's in the chat talking about minerals. So if you're not subscribed to him, make sure you are as well. But let's bump up these likes because you lot have come over from the raid. Big up to everyone who has joined from the raid, but we're only at 11 likes and there's over 60 of you lot in the building. So what I need you, like check 1212. I need you lot to hit the like button. Let's go up to 40 likes. Let's hit that like button straight away. Please share this across all of the socials because we want to try to get over 100 people in here. So share across all them social media apps you are active on. At Sarcasm City TV, the Twitter and Instagram, you can retweet and like from the Twitter, share from the Instagram, and subscribe to the channel, Sarcasm City TV as well. And when you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell. We're currently at, I'm just checking the subscriber number right now. We are at 7,192. So get us up 3 more. Get us to 7,195 people. Jez is in the building. Alam is in the building as well. What you man telling me? You man good? Yo.
Yeah, all good. What do you man say?
Oh, bless. You already know. You know what I'm saying? Large up everyone in the cut. Let's see what you lot saying in the chat. Big up Lewis, like I said, you said raid gang. Smash up the like button for Sarcasm Minerals. Make sure you do. Big up Warrior J in the cut. Custom Clip says, big up, let's get flawless to 10K today. That's extremely ambitious, but I appreciate the thought of it, Custom
Hey,
Clip.
make it
So
happen, people. It's in your
yeah,
control. You guys decide that, not us.
facts. So let's bump it up. I'd be happy to get to 7,500 subscribers today, people. Custom Clips, but I appreciate it. 10K soon come. Big up True Blue says, smash the likes, everybody. Let's do so. Gavman says the same as well. Big up Shikar. Also, don't worry, I'm gonna start all of the best questions. But like I said, members, your questions, priorities, take priority. Uncle Justice says, how did Man United violate FFP? I thought your owners didn't spend. Because these people don't know what they're talking about. Like I always state, most of the time, the vast majority of people talking about Manchester United in regards to us spending is guesswork. That's what it is. But our owners do spend. The problem we have with the Glazers is how they spend the money, and they never spend any of their own money. All of the money spent by Manchester United is generated by us. The Glazers haven't put in a penny of their own money. It's all for profit in regards to that. So when people say the owners don't spend, technically they do. But the Glazers never spend their own money. And look at how it's spent as well. That's my biggest issue with the Glazers. It's never about the amount, it's how they spend and what they spend it on and who's in charge and things of that nature. Because you see with Ten Hag, the difference. Once you've got someone competent in charge, you see the massive difference. Look at the window we had, the last window we had last summer compared to all the windows previous. And even this summer, as much as I don't like Mount makes sense for what the manager's trying to do, even though I think he was too expensive. Onana makes sense. Hoyland, who we've been linked with, makes sense. Amrabat makes sense. Like, there's a theme. He's looking for players of quality, but players are dogged. You look at all the players they have that we've signed, word to LT for those that watch the fan calling shows, they all have that dog in them. If you look at it all, they're all dogged players. When you look at Martinez, when you look at Casemiro, you look at Anthony, you look at Malacia. Ericsson's probably the only one, but he was on a free anyway. That's just shrewd business. And then even when you look at Mount will run you down. One thing about I've never heard Chelsea fans complain about with Mount is his off the ball work. There's no issues with him off the ball. Amrabat's the same. Hoyland would be the same, etc., etc. So yeah, that's what it is. So I don't know where you heard that Manchester United that did we violate FFP. Like I said, most people guessing because I tell you right now, most people don't know how FFP works. Because I'll tell you for free, I don't. But I don't pay you no mind whatsoever. Because if you're rich enough, you'll find a way around it. Because I've never seen a top club be unable to buy a player because of FFP. That's not happened. Like if someone in the chat knows or one of the panelists knows, but never to my knowledge, have Manchester United gone in for a player and we've pulled out of the deal because of FFP. It's always something else. That's
No,
never
they
been the
don't.
excuse.
They don't do that. Like,
Yeah.
I think you get in a situation like Barcelona, for example, they sign players, but what they do is they don't registrate them immediately. So some of them players maybe miss part of the season, so they don't play, and they just register them later until they sorted it out. But most of the time, they don't really punish like a team like heavily, especially like the big clubs as well. Because I said it earlier in the future as well, like the club, not club. UEFA needs teams like United, Barcelona, Real Madrid to be all in these competition, in this Champions League competition, because like the quality is already like not that good. So no, you don't know you wanna to kick them out as well. Like if they were in Europa League, Conference League, I don't think it would be that deep kicking man out. Like I think Juventus apparently is out of the Conference League now because they couldn't do anything. But now, like yeah, clubs always find ways to find it around. And by the way, talking about FFP, like I told everybody, because today was obviously the whole FFP thing got reported. And Real Madrid wasn't one of the teams that was in fear of any FFP issues. So, like I've said before, just give me a credible source that was saying that they have to sell players to get Mbappe.
Facts.
They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were
Remember,
doing.
people were saying this to us like in the chat, and it's like, where did this come from? And that being said, a City still not here. Don't City still have over 200 charges?
Yeah, of course.
And
it takes so long.
And they still just moving around, signing players, selling players, winning trophies, etc. There's been no restrictions put on them whatsoever. It's not like being arrested for a crime, and you're like, say, I don't know, you're on bail or something like that, or you're on house arrest, or normally there's if a crime, you get 200 charges in real life. There'll be, even if you're not put right into jail, there'll be some form of punishment put on you, like you can't leave the country or you can't leave your house or something of that nature. So you got over 200 charges and are just chilling, just moving around normal.
Moving carefree.
Like I said, moving carefree, buying players, selling players, etc. Oh yeah, go on.
But yeah, no, like people don't know anything about FFP. Like you'll hear people avoid the topic completely and just own up to it. But then there's other people that speak on it. And as somebody who's tried to do like a very basic level of research into actually how it works, like something I've found is that it's not like a serious concrete thing. Like all the rules about numbers are moving. Like it works in 3-year cycles. So like even your restrictions for one window move as years go by. Like it's not a rigid system, and as like the City case shows, even if you breach these things, like it's not like it really impacts you seriously either. Like the FFP thing is more, I think, about just showing the world, hey, we're trying to do something to make this fair, but it's not actually about making it fair.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's not, that's why I don't pay really no mind, no attention. Surfer's in the building, Timo in the building, Taza in the building as well. What you man telling me? He's good.
Oh, good.
Yeah, man. Then it says, question to Alam, opinion on LeBron continuing his NBA career and clarifying at the ESPYs.
Thoughts on him continuing his career? That's about what I expected. I didn't really think the retirement thing was serious, but in regards to clarifying it at the ESPYs, LeBron's a commercial, marketable person who tries to use every opportunity to cash in on that. When he went to Miami, he did it on ESPN and made it a commercial, marketing moment. And there's no surprise that he's doing it to announce that he's continuing to play. Hell, a lot of people thought that him even floating out the idea of retirement was about just creating a moment to distract from other conversations. So it's, par for the course, nothing out of the ordinary. This is kind of just how these things go. When you're as big as LeBron and you command as much attention and dictate so much conversation, you're going to use every opportunity to try to, again, like create these kind of moments, because that's just what you do when you're in that world.
Yeah, no, fair enough. You know what I'm saying? He seems to be that way with LeBron, and that's what I've gauged watching basketball like more. Like you said, he'll just create a moment because people hang on his every word. Like his statements like mean a lot to people.
Man,
longevity
to people
longevity as well, though. That's the thing.
No. This is to the people like Timo who were fearing at the time when the rumors came out, like, oh my god, he's gonna retire and shit. And I told niggas,
On my life, I
everybody,
never said that he's gonna retire. On my life,
bro, you were giving me scenarios. Oh my god, he's gonna retire at the moment in time. I remember the conversations, I said, like, oh, I was like shocked when he was retired. On my life, no, you and I had the conversations. I can remember because I know exactly what I said because I said how he's not. There's no way he was going to retire after getting swept.
Okay, then scientifically speaking, then he's gonna go somewhere else. Then if
no, why does he have to go somewhere else?
But that's just random speculation. The conversation was about retirement because he said,
exactly.
I don't know if I want to keep playing. Like the whole going to a different team is a whole separate convo. Like he made the conversation retirement or continue playing.
Exactly, that's my point. This was, but like Alam said, I'm like the guy is just a character in it. He likes making it about himself and having a moment. So it is what it is. I knew he was lying. I mean, that's why they call him Le Cap anyway.
Yo, forget Le Cap. Yo, did you guys see that video of the clips of him coaching a game with all the different?
I've seen that.
Le needs a call. Oh man, that shit was
the gameplay, the timeout.
The timeout, man. Needs a timeout.
People really be creative with these names and that. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to not just him, just in general. I'm like, oh, how do people come up with these? But yo, there's still there is over 70 people in the building, only at 18 likes. Hey, way too low, people. What are we doing there? What is this poor conversion rate? Let's get us up to 40 likes, man. Hit that like button, like check 1212. Come on, you lot, man. No, it's Friday. You know what I'm saying? End of the working week for most. So let's bump up them likes and hit that subscribe button as well. Because everyone who's locked in, I know for sure hasn't hit that like button. And it sure hasn't hit the subscribe button as well. So make sure hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Gales up to 7,195, only looking for 3 new subscribers. And continue to get your questions in as well, people. Like I say, it can be basketball, like this question here from Dennis, football related, maybe boxing, obviously bringing the boxing show back as well tonight. Big fights, big nights only podcast as well. That'll be live on the Twitch. So yeah, what I'm saying, we're going to keep things rolling.
Ngannou fight, though?
I understand it. Money grab. I get it. I'm saying, yes, big up Lewis in the cut as well. Yeah, money grab. I get it. That's what it is. It's a money grab. Like people crying about it. Like, would I prefer to have seen him fight Usyk? Of course I would. Because they're the 2 best heavyweights, clearly. However, money talks. Very similar to when I was on Big Six Months yesterday, and shout out to Mont and the whole Big Six Months gang. We were talking about Jordan Henderson moving to, potentially moving to Saudi Arabia after him heading up the LGBTQ. Did I say that right?
Yeah, I'm about
yeah. They need to shorten that down, like as an acronym, because I can't remember all them letters. But yes, he was like
LGBTQ plus.
To see.
Don't forget the pluses. Come on.
Like him, we're not even going there. But him, like he was the one wearing the armband. He was the one who was fighting for their rights. And then all of a sudden, Saudi throw the big bag at you, and you want to go. Not saying he's wrong, but hey, 700K will make most people throw their morals out the window. Let's just keep it real. Like that's just legit what it is.
They're next gonna target Adam 22. That's what they're gonna target next.
Yeah, hey, bro. Come on, let's not, bro.
Most people would, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just legit. We'll throw 700K at not just most people, whatever morals they have, it's gonna go out the window.
I'm saying, bro, the shit that I would say at 700K, if you give me 700K a week,
look at the shit you say for free just.
I was about to say that. I was literally about to say
you need the money.
You know the black uncle in what's it called?
Uncle Ruckus.
Boondocks. Yeah, Uncle Ruckus. Bro, I would be acting up like this as well. Like,
I mean, you pay a tenner to act up. What are you talking?
I was gonna say, give this man a $5 for a Tesco meal deal. You know what I'm saying? What are we talking about? This guy said it like he needs 700K. And don't get mistaken, people. I'm not saying Henderson's wrong. I'm the same. You know what I'm saying? Throw me 700K, like. That's testing any morals I have. And I have
nobody on Twitter. You know nobody on Twitter rejects that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, hey, what morals? What morals?
That's why I said very few. Bro, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I said very few things that I stand on and I'm like, I'm totally against. I wouldn't switch for them, but like most things is like, all right, 700K a week. This is generational wealth. Not only do I set up my own generation, this is generations below as well, potentially. So that's what it is. And I know that I think it is talking about morals prime. You know what I'm saying? This man. You're a joker. Hey, anyway, you lot continue to
Yeah,
bump
hold
up
on,
the
man.
likes as well. Serious.
I was
crime, you know.
agreeing with you. I was
Yeah,
agreeing
yeah,
with
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
I was
yeah.
agreeing with you. How are you
Yeah, yeah.
attacking me?
You don't need to agree.
Yeah,
No.
course,
You
of
went
course.
one step further. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
said
Well,
what
I
morals?
was
So
agreeing
I
with
said
you.
very
Yeah.
few. You said what morals?
No, but that was me
That.
agreeing with you.
Yeah. I didn't
Yeah,
like
hold
the
that
way you
one.
agreed with me.
Hold
You
it.
know what I'm saying? Warrior J says it's over between Tottenham and Hugo Lloris. French goalkeeper has been granted permission not to travel in order to explore prospective transfer opportunities. Club statement confirms that's from
Ends of an
Fabrizio
era, man.
Romano. Jazz, thoughts on this?
Go.
Alhamdulillah. That's my thoughts. That's my thoughts.
EJ,
That's my thoughts. Anyway.
This frigging guy. Yeah. It's crazy. It is. And yes, Daniel, big up to you as well. Says it's a money grab. Of course. Like most people go in Saudi, unless like I don't think anyone's wrong for that. Like Henderson, it just looks funny after everything that went on. Because you mentioned it to me, Stroh. I spoke to Stroh and he mentioned it and was like, yeah, after everything that Henderson had stood for in regards to it, people had looking at it because he was like a big advocate for like the rainbow armbands. And like I said, just standing up for the LGBTQ community rights. And then you go over to potentially go over to Saudi. Obviously, the deal's not done because there's talks of the transfer fee. So, yeah, man, we'll see what
Speaking of
go on with that.
Saudi, you know who needs to be next?
Go on.
Fred, bro.
Absolutely.
Fred.
I need him at Galatasaray. I need him in Galatasaray, man.
25
building
million
a super
for,
team.
25 million for Fred, bro. I need it, man. At least we could recoup some of the money we paid for that scrub, bro.
Yeah, man. Whether it's him or whether he goes Fulham or where else.
How much did you guys pay for him?
I think it was
50 million pounds.
52 million pounds.
Wow.
This side just keep stepping.
They paid the release clause, innit? That's why.
I thought you were gonna say De Gea going to Saudi.
He's gone already. It doesn't matter.
That guy might need to retire, and like nobody wants him.
When Saudi gonna invest in Sarcasm City?
I don't. You know what? I don't know. When they start investing in content creators, which
there's a heavy prime tax.
Sarcasm Saudi TV, man. Let's go.
Hey, serious? You know what I'm saying? Like 100%. I think the email's there. We open for conversations with anybody, whether it's Saudi or anyone else. So like, yeah, the way they're investing in football, they could invest in content creators. That could legit be a thing.
Al Hilal Fan TV coming soon to Sarcasm City, people.
Hey, I like the hat, man. Come on, man. We need content watch.
You lot are jokers. Warrior Jason's question to the panel: what's your thoughts on the Dele Alli interview? I spoke on this yesterday, but someone asked. I've not actually watched the full interview, like in its entirety, but I've only seen clips and then like pictures with captions. One, I just gotta respect him for speaking out 110% on what he said, because one, I didn't know about all the things he was going through, like in the footballing sense, like while he was at Spurs and other times, well, recently, and I didn't know about his upbringing either. So I commend him for that and respect him for speaking out, because that's something I wouldn't do that. So that takes big word to Troy Deeney, that's big cojones to do that type of thing. And anyone hating on him and anyone criticizing him for speaking out, saying he's looking for sympathy, is ridiculous. Because he's telling his story, he's looking for sympathy. And people are like, oh, well, he wasn't, when he was successful and he was banging in goals, he didn't speak about this. Just because you're being successful on a football pitch doesn't mean you're not going through things. Same way, if you're just successful in life, it doesn't mean you're not going through set things. So I respect him for that, 110% of what he did. Like I said, I'm not watching in full. And in particular, his childhood as well. I didn't know that he had gone through so much in his childhood. I had no idea whatsoever in regards to what he mentioned, getting hung up for bridge, being fostered, selling drugs, all types of stuff like that. So yeah, man, commend him. And hopefully, even if it helps one young player coming through now, that's a success. Because there has to be something to tackle and combat mental health, because there's no help. There's very little help for it, is what I would say. So hopefully him talking out can help somebody go get help. It's like, go speak to a psychiatrist, speak to a close family member, whoever, like, don't suffer alone, like, get it off your chest type of thing. So yeah, with Dele Alli, 110%.
I just want to quickly say though, now I understand what you said with the interview and what you just said about it, and I said that already before as well. Like, obviously the thing about the foster thing was already known, kind of thing, but
I didn't know that because I didn't know.
That's the thing. Like, this thing, because I think more Tottenham fans would know that.
Yeah.
But obviously, other stories like you mentioned, and going more in detail. This is the thing that people didn't know about him. And when you also just go and look at the interview, like he's talking about, ironically, the timeline that he was talking about kind of makes sense because I remember around the end of 2018, 2019, I was talking about how, Dele Alli is not playing like the Dele Alli the 2.5 seasons before that, which kind of just adds up with it. So, and I was like thinking, especially when he was talking about how things at Tottenham was working out at the end of Poch era, and then talking about how his worst time come around when Mourinho joined. And I'm not trying to blame Jose here really crazy because even he was talking about how he even apologized to him, talking about him calling him a lazy player and that. But gotta also understand with the kind of background that he came from, football was probably one of the only things that he could escape the type of stuff that he was going through because it's the only thing that keeps him joy. And when he started losing joy in football, then you can kind of see that it all just piles up to the things that he was already going through. Because gotta also consider that when he came through at Tottenham, he was I think 18 or something. So that's like even less than 10 years that some of the stuff he went through happened to him. So it's just unfortunate that these type of things happen, and it's just not just for footballers in regular life, but I just wanted also to quickly add to this because I've seen Tottenham fans talking about how they want to bring him back and shit like that, and because they believe Ange can get the best of him and getting him. But for me, it's not even just about the football. Like he needs to heal in the mental side first, which will take I don't know how long. There isn't a timeline from coming back from like mental health and stuff like that. Like especially what things that he went through. And for me, it's just funny how there's Tottenham fans who will go at a Dombele for things that have nothing to do with football, but then with Dilly, no, so they would like to just be cuddle him and that, which is nothing wrong, but have the same standards at least. Like you should, like I said, you should always criticize a footballer for their footballing ability. Everything outside this football stuff, there's nothing really to criticize about, unless they do something that is like terrible, like other footballers do. But if it's just small things like walking to a door and shit, like this is when you do too much and you talk. Then for them players, mental health all of the sudden doesn't count anymore. But then for other players, you want to be doing favoritism and do this whole baby and cuddling stuff. Nah, I'm not cool with that. But about the daily though, nah, I hope he's just doing well. Like for me, it's not even about him coming back to playing like a top footballer and that. Like I just want him to do well as a person because like when I criticized him back in the days, I only criticized him about what he's doing on the pitch. Like off the pitch, you can kind of tell what's going on. Like he had the sex tape going on there. You knew that he was drinking. I think he was talking about also how he was drinking before training. So a lot of things was going on. So but now it's just sad to see it, and they dropped it in the morning as well. So that caught me off guard.
Yeah, well, also like in the vein of talking about other people getting help, right? Like I think something to note here is that we've seen Dele, go through like a descent, right? So for other people who may have shit going on, like you can get to it in earlier stages, right? Like we're seeing somebody who it's gotten really far with, or it's like we've seen somebody's, you could say, like life fall apart in a certain way, right? Like other people who are going through shit can get to things at earlier stages. It doesn't necessarily have to get this far, like in the with like encouraging people getting help and whatnot. Also like encourage people to like look at these stories and learn from people who are really open about their experiences with these kind of things, right? Dele has told you his story, so now somebody that has experiences that might have a similar effect on them can maybe look at things and say, like this thing that's starting to go wrong in life, maybe I can get help with it now, right? Like this is how people as a whole, or just like society as a whole, can be better about these things. It doesn't have to necessarily get this far along the road. So just people watching this, keep these kind of things in mind.
Yeah, legit. That's and what you said and what Jez said like fully makes sense, and I back up everything you man have just stated on the situation as well. And don't get mistaken, people, just because this has come out and like mentally he wasn't prepared and it was affecting his football, he can still be criticized for his, like Jez said, his footballing ability. And that's one thing I think is always fair. Whether you're physically not right, mentally not right, or both, if you're on the football pitch at the highest level, which Spurs are playing at because they're within the Premier League, they've competed in the Champions League, which he was in as well. They was in a title race whilst Dele Alli was there as well. You're going to be critiqued, and that's what it is. And I always say, if you're not right physically, mentally, or both, don't go on the pitch. And it sounds harsh, but that's just what it is, because you will be judged because you're not prepared, you're not right, you're not correct. And that's just legit what it is. So that's why I always, with my critique of footballers on this channel, anywhere else I'm at, it's never personal. I'll always only criticize somebody's footballing ability. I don't care about your personal life unless what you're doing off the pitch is affecting you on the pitch. So, for instance, if a player is overweight, for instance, that's affecting you on the pitch. Or if a player is smoking, for example, or a player is drinking heavily, like during the season, just examples, people, or something else. But other than that, what else you do is you. It's like when, I don't know, Martial with the 2 women. It's like, all right, that's his business. It's not affecting his football in the slightest to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't, I didn't look at that and go, oh, that's going to affect his form. That's his business. But people want to, because footballers are on such a pedestal and they're in the professional, at the highest level and just in the public eye, people think they have a right to talk about on them personally. But then same people, if people spoke on them personally, they wouldn't like it. It's like, that's their business. It's like any of us who are content creators on here doing this, don't invade our personal lives. Because this ain't nothing to do with what we're doing as content creators and footballers. Like, it's, as content creators. So that's what that is with Dele Alli. But I'm glad he's spoken about it. Emma said he would have preferred to have waited to talk, but the paper started to write about it, so he felt he had to do it now. That's fair enough then. Hey, credit to him, like I said, for doing it. And big up to Gary Neville as well, because I know that couldn't have been easy on either part to do something like that. I know I would struggle to do something like that. Well, like talking about it definitely, or even interviewing somebody like that, like, because that's just extremely tough, because you never know where that conversation can go as well. But anyways, everyone in the chat, continue to get your questions in, people. Get your sporting questions in. This show is all about you lot. Like I said, this sports Q&A on Fridays will go slightly later now, 5:30 p.m. people. So it will no longer be 4:30 p.m. You'll get it 5:30 p.m. Be the early one. Obviously, Wednesdays and Sundays, you get the ones at midnight. Only at 27 likes, though. And it's still over 60 of you lot in there. 40 likes, people. Let's hit the like button. Yeah, go on, Surfle.
I got a question. If Saudi Arabia do take over this channel, what Al Nassr fan are you adding to the Ballers at the Bridge meets the Mandem United meets Talking at Tottenham Talk podcast we do every week? That's all. I just want to know.
Have to find we'd have to find out. That's a fan.
I claim whatever club as Kante.
We'd have to find.
I think that's Al Nassr, isn't it?
No. He's at Nuno's club. He's at Nuno's club.
Yeah, who's that?
That's a super team.
Yeah,
that's a super team right there.
I don't know what the name is, but I know he's getting coached by Nuno, so they're winning the league. I will be there.
It's Al Ittihad.
It's Al Ittihad. Okay. I just saw something come across the timeline. So Luton Town has reluctantly requested that its first home match is postponed, and it says that they're undergoing a program of extensive ground improvements to be ready for the Premier League football. So they had to postpone their first match because their ground isn't ready. Yo, hit them with a minus 30-point deduction right now. You guys aren't ready for prime time. Get the fuck out of here.
You know what?
Who they play?
They should have. Yeah,
Burnley.
I'm not sure who they play. They should have just ran with it. You know what?
They can't.
The scratch. What is
they
it?
Can't do that.
Just run with it.
They can't deduct them points. Blackpool had the same issue in 2010, so they didn't play the first 4 matches. They played the first 4 matches of the season away until the stadium was up to standard. So
rules can change, man. Rules can change.
Hey, Luton should
rules can change, yeah, but then they'll probably if you deduct them points, they'll probably get overturned. So it'll be a huge waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
So
did it have to take this long? Like, did they start this process late? It says
you've got. Remember, when you're dealing with local councils, you're dealing with planning permission, you're dealing with neighborhoods and stuff like that. It's not as simple as rolling and going, here's my big Premier League winning money. I'm going to steamroll all of you, and you have to get the fuck out and then rebuild. It's not like that. They have to go through so much bureaucracy. There's meetings about setting meetings, for Christ's sake. You know what I mean? It's like that.
Of course, yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. It says in the official statement from the club that the process is well ahead of schedule. So I hope they don't have to postpone too many more matches. But that's a hilarious way for the season to start, man.
Yeah, man, don't pattern that. They should have just, they should have just They should have just run with it instead of extending it. It's like, but I suppose they looked at it and went, we got this Premier League money. We might not be here next season. Let's improve this ground now. I'm just hoping that they keep the away stand where you have to walk through somebody's back garden to get there. I'm hoping they keep.
I've been there. Yuck.
Yeah, man. I hope they keep that, man. That keeps that. I can't wait for Sky Sports or BT or both actually. Whenever Luton are on either of those channels, and they just pan to it, like I said, and someone just sunbathing in the back garden.
I can't wait till they have to. They got one of the trucks is plugged into one of those 4 plugs in someone's house. The extension cable, and then a cat trips over it, and the whole signal goes.
Exactly what's gonna happen. 110%.
Going into someone's living room to do VAR.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody definitely gonna be in their back window.
Gary Neville in someone's kitchen at halftime.
The tea lady runs out of tea bags and they got to nip into someone's house. You know what I'm saying? For a spare couple of tea bags.
How about this? One of the balls goes over in someone's garden and the cranky neighbour won't give it back.
Oh my God!
Smash my window. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Mason Mount takes a shot from outside the box and smashes someone's window.
110% that could happen. I can see that. We can't get the ball back. We can't get the ball back. That could definitely happen, without doubt. It's gonna be funny that Luton. Whenever they're live, I don't think they'll be live too often on TV. When they are, it's gonna be great viewing. It's gonna be like the FA Cup time.
Please don't be that live.
I think the first home game should be West Ham on Friday night.
They'll probably show that. They'll show that.
It's on Sky Sports.
That team stink. Oh my God!
That Haaland hat trick against Luton, man.
Hat trick, double hat trick. Hat trick in each half.
Man, I hate that.
Daniel says, "How do Miami get Dame over the line? Want to see him in a Miami shirt." Timo, we'll go to you this first on this. Thoughts on this Dame trade? Well, potential trade, I should say.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I didn't even see anything.
Yeah. Potential trade.
I think they, at the moment, kind of like it's been a dead week though. Like it's gonna go along though. I'm not sure. I think they're trying to sort out the trade though, the trade stuff, like the trade package plus the. I think the swap deals as well, like the pick swaps. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's been quiet. It's been quiet.
No, it has been quiet. We're saying about this.
They're gonna have to sort up, but at the moment, like the Heat doesn't have the asset.
Don't the Heat have the assets to get Dame? I don't know. I'm asking. I'm genuinely asking. Can they not put something together?
I mean, they're probably. I mean, sorry, Timo. You go.
Go. No, go. I'm
Now, who wants to go first before me? Like, I'm cool going after.
Go ahead.
Go.
It's just saying because like we talked about it last time. Like, Portland don't even have to trade him to Miami to begin with. They're just gonna, if they want to be selfish, which I think they will. I think they just waited and played out until they either keep him at the end somehow, or they find the right package. Because like, if you're Portland, you know the type of caliber that you have in your hands, and you wanna play it out in your possibility. Like, fair enough. Like, thank you for your services and that, but you don't want to stay. We're not gonna trade you to the place where you decide place. Like, for example, Kawhi. I think he wanted to go to the Lakers.
LA.
When he was,
Lakers.
Yeah, you want to go specifically to the Lakers when he wanted out from San Antonio, and then obviously he was traded to the Raptors. Like, of course, the Spurs thought that was for them the best offer. So it doesn't work like that all the time that the player gets a certain place that he wants to go to. But it's just this. I don't expect this one to be finished anytime soon. To be honest, I really don't see that.
Yeah, it's not going to. So how does Miami get Dame over the line? The real answer is they need Dame to continue to tell the rest of the league, I'm not trying to play anywhere else but Miami, and they have to hope that works, because the reality is Miami doesn't have the best offer on the table. There are a bunch of other teams that can put a better offer on the table, but like Jess said with the Kawhi situation, the big difference between Kawhi and Dame is that Kawhi had 1 year left on his deal and he was coming off an injury. So it was in his best interest to almost have like a rehab year where he shows up and he's like, yeah, maybe this isn't where I want to be, but I can show up here. I can play good basketball on a team that just won 59 games the year before, and maybe something can happen. I have a good platform to show off my skills to eventually get to the place I want to be. Dame has 4 years left on big money. So I think Dame doesn't have the luxury of being able to like you know, whatever, I'll go somewhere else. If Dame wants to go to Miami, he has to like dig his heels in and say no, Miami and nothing else. And then obviously Miami has to put their best offer on the table, and they just have to hope that Portland opts for Miami in that situation, right? Portland is the team, they have things in control because Dame can say, look, if anybody else trades for me, I'm not showing up. They can trade him anyways. There's nothing, he doesn't have a no trade clause. So if they do that, that becomes somebody else's problem. Portland has absolutely no reason to not do what's in their best interest. But well, basically, the reason the Raptors got Kawhi is because when Kawhi told the rest of the league, I'm going to LA, that made other teams basically not offer their best trade offers. That made Boston look at it like, well, if Kawhi is just going to go to LA, we're not trading Jaylen Brown. You know, all the other teams in the league that had better offers than Toronto, they took their offers off the table. So you need Dame to basically do that same thing. You need Dame to make other teams get scared that if we trade for him, he's just not going to show up. The problem with that though is like, it's just tough because at the end of the day, like, would Dame actually just like never play basketball again? He's on a 4-year deal. So like if another team trades for Dame, do we really think Dame is going to just never play basketball again? Like, this is the tough thing. It's like poker right now. It's a stare down at the table. Who's going to budge first? Is Dame going to budge first? Or is Portland going to budge first? So if what Miami actually needs to do to get it over the line is they need to like beg and plead with Dame, like, hey, stay strong, brother. Stay strong.
At least a third team. There's going to be a third team to be involved in this trade.
Who do you think the third team will be?
The Lakers,
I think that's so hard to do. I think that's so hard to predict because you don't know these situations.
It's literally everyone. Like, I would say it's going to take time to find that third team.
I don't think they're going to be a third team though. That's why it's going to take. Even if it's not a third team, it's going to take a while. Like, these trades don't just happen like this. Like, especially like, I didn't actually know he has 4 years left, so it's kind of like you played this whole loyalty bullshit until you actually put yourself in the worst possible situation in terms of wanting out. Like, maybe if you had 2 years, 1 year left, cool, that's whatever. But I didn't even know you had 4 years left. So yeah, this shit is not going to end anytime soon. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I wouldn't even be surprised if he stays.
This is a fact, Jez. He's on track to make $63 million when he's 36.
That's what I'm trying to say, bro.
Bro, he's on some stupid money right now. He's on some stupid. So this is what I'm saying. I agree. I think Dame is capping. Like, you're gonna tell me if Dame gets traded to, like, let's say he doesn't get traded to some bullshit situation. Let's say he gets traded. It's not gonna happen. But let's say Philly, right? You think he's gonna get traded to Philly and they'd be like, no, I'm not showing up, when you have an opportunity to make all that money and play with Joel Embiid, right? Like, I think if he gets traded to a good situation that's not Miami, he would show up. So that's why I think it's a sticky situation with Miami, where I don't actually think that they have that, like, they have good pull in this situation, but it might not be enough.
That's fair. It's gonna be interesting until he says y'all would kill KD and other players for demanding a trade to a certain destination. No, we wouldn't. Do what's best. Yeah. No.
You mean like KD demanding a trade to Phoenix?
Yeah, like, we don't, like, I don't know.
Hey, I was an advocate for that.
Go back and watch the stream.
No, what I'm saying is KD demanded a trade to Phoenix, so you just got that wrong. You know?
Yeah, like, people like ask before you demand stuff. I mean, before you state stuff. Sorry, like, that's what I would say. Unless he's talking about like mainstream media, but yeah,
probably mainstream. Like,
the mainstream soccer, because I've never heard anyone here state that. I mean, kill someone for a player, a super player, one in
a trade
destination. Yeah, like, do what's best for your career at the end of the day.
It's definitely the mainstream, like ESPN, for example. Like, they're always, depending who the player is, though. Like, certain players, there would be just, you know what, we kill this. Certain, like, for example, the Dame one, you see on the mainstream media, like, they're all advocating for him to leave Portland. It's kind of similar to Kane, like how the mainstream media wants them all to leave. Him, Tottenham, innit? So it's the same thing.
Yeah, like, legit. See? Yeah, like I said, you can't just be saying stuff and it's just unfounded. But hey, we move anyway. Yimika says, hey,
he didn't demand Phoenix. He put down the only place he would go to was Phoenix.
Yeah.
That's reported.
Yeah.
That's the only place he would go is Phoenix.
You want to Phoenix, yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
remember him saying either Phoenix or Miami, but that still goes. Like he put two teams down, and it was fairly restricted. Hold up. So does Yimika have Ten Hag out in his icon?
I don't know.
Yes, it says
Really? Yeah, we'll get to that in a sec.
Wow,
that's interesting.
Yeah, it says Ten Hag.
Yeah,
it says
yeah, but you know what the picture is still?
Mason Mount 7 behind it.
Back to we're gonna get to that in a sec. Back to the original point is no, we wouldn't kill KD or other players for demanding a trade.
You kill KD when he joins you kill KD when he joins the Warriors. That's when you kill him. That's when
because he killed basketball. That was the only reason.
That, I'm like, I just did like let him go where he. All right, so he went to go get a ring. I'm like, yo, do your thing. Like, this is what it is. I don't hold any player to that. Like, wherever you think is best for your career, move and go do what you need to do. And if you want to go get a couple rings, which he did, go do your thing. Thoughts on EAFC 24. I've only seen like the.
Is that the one with pro clubs?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
The one I'm getting.
It's the FIFA. It's the FIFA.
It's the cross-gen one as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna get PS5 soon. Probably.
We can mash up Lewis's team. That's what we can mash him up.
Yeah, hopefully, because I think it is. So yeah, if Lewis is on, yeah, we can definitely.
I just hope.
That's
hope.
a good idea, actually.
Lewis,
I did actually drop this in the group chat, like on this EA, the new EA, the new FIFA.
The new FIFA. Yeah.
It's got pro clubs. It's cross gen.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know what issue? You know what issue is though? Like, my only issue is it's like, what's the first year they're doing it? I just feel like they're gonna fuck it up somehow. I'll be honest, but
probably.
I hope they're not. I hope not.
It'll be better in the future, probably, but like
in the future, it will be definitely better. Like,
might be issues.
Even, but everybody wants crossplay. Even 2K, they're going crossplay now as well.
Hold up. So Yimika, are you still in the chat? Because you said something during a stream a couple months ago that I've been meaning to talk to you about, but I just haven't seen you since. Yimika said the most random shit I've ever heard from me personally in a stream. I think it was a Man United Liverpool stream. You guys were talking football, and this guy was like, "Oh, if anyone's from Toronto, make sure you go try out Osmos and order chicken on the rocks." So I'm listening to this like, what the hell is this, man? What did I just hear? Those who aren't familiar, Osmos is like the main Middle Eastern food spot in the city. And to hear this on a stream, I was very confused. So Yimika, I got to ask you, what was the thought process going on for that comment? That was one of the most random things I've personally heard on the stream. And I just wanted to know like what you were going through to make you be like, yo, I'm going to put everybody on to a random Middle Eastern spot in Toronto on a worldwide stream.
I thought it was extremely random, as like to the point where I was like, all right, either he's just been there and it was
that's what I'm saying.
Good, or he was hungry, or he's on his way there, or they offered him a bag and was like promoting.
Yo, here's the thing, bro. There's no way they offered him a bag unless if they did, or like if he's related to those people, like he's moneyed like differently. That place is big out here. But again, like that was so random, and I could tell you were caught off guard, and I was caught off guard as a listener. I was like, what kind of overlap between my worlds is going on right here?
I was extremely confused. I was. And just back to the original question, Yimika, as well about EA24. Like I say, it's got crossover, so you'll see Lewis on our team probably play against him as well. We'll try and figure some stuff out anyway. We'll definitely figure something out.
Yeah, if you don't need any creators, I'm here.
Creators like Havertz or creators like
No. Creators like Hazard, not Havertz.
Man like Lewis Mount, you know.
Have some respect for me, bruv.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
No, we've not seen you play yet. We don't know if we have respect for you. You know what I mean? We haven't seen you play yet.
This is outrageous.
Basically, I'm a number 10 off the shoulder, drifting, moaning. Midfielder.
He's a Rotondor. We all need him in our team.
He interprets the space.
How are your defensive stats in attack? That's what I want to know. You know what I mean?
I do the tracking back all the
tracking back.
Lewis, how are you in the Xhaka role?
Well, I have more physicality than Havertz, I'll say that. Good eye for a pass. Selfless. Just shit in transition. I can't help with that.
Just like Christensen.
I'm
not the Werner stand talking.
Yeah, that's wild. But keep a lookout.
Take a tracking back.
But keep a lookout for the pro clubs on the Twitch, people, because we are approaching Division 1. So that is the aim. So we'll be running streams. We're in Division 3 still, but promoted just one more win for the title. That's legit.
Oh, when are we next playing?
I'll give you a shout. I'm not sure when. But yeah, we're literally in Division 3, but we already hit the 18 points. And it's just I think there's 3 games remaining to get to 21 points to actually win the title in Division 3. So Division 2, Division 1 soon come, because that's the aim. Tired of hopping around like from club to club. So it's like, all right, let's just get up to Division 1. So we're closing in on it. So
Let me know if you need him. Let me know if you need him. Let me know if you need him. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Got you. This guy.
It's him. But start your mic first. Start your mic first. Let's talk about him. Start your mic.
I was thinking, right, is that Prime's mic? And the
is he scuba diving or something?
Wait, hold on. Why am I getting random straight?
No, it's not random straight because you was the last person talking. So I just presumed it was you talking back to me when your mic went funny. And plus, I've heard your mic go funny before. So I just presumed it was you at first. I couldn't make out. And then I clocked out that it was Ahmed. That's what it was. Well,
that was
basically.
You see, you found
no, translation is you both sound meaty. That's what you said.
Yeah, basically what I'm saying. But to get Miko, why are you Ten Hag out? I'm guessing it's because of the Mount side.
Being compared to Ahmed is crazy.
And let me get to this from Dennis. Says, question to the panel: how much pressure is there on Mikel Arteta next season?
You must.
No.
You must win
the trophy.
Do I think he's under any pressure, like from the people who matter? No. And when I say the people who matter, I'm talking about the people.
Oh yeah, the owners and stuff. Yeah, possibly. But I think from the fan, when it comes from the fan perspective, you must win something. You must.
The fans, yes, but I don't see him winning anything.
His first job is to figure out where Havertz plays first.
That's hilarious that he said.
Oh, he's definitely under a lot of pressure on that front.
He's
under a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Hey, but
did you hear the excuse? Did you hear the 65 million player and not knowing where to play him? That's
some
crazy.
excuse from Arsenal fans are now saying that Havertz wasn't an Arteta signing; he's a board signing.
No, that's actually wrong. By the way, I put this in your chat yesterday, Flawless. I think you missed it. Arteta is not Arteta. Havertz is not a board signing. Apparently, the board were very wary on getting Havertz, and Arteta stood behind and vouched for him. Yeah, and he vouched for him. So Havertz is 100% an Arteta signing. And I was on Brandon's stream yesterday, and I was saying that this will be the signing where, he basically lives or dies on this hill. You know, all this good PR, good sentiment he's built up over the last season or two with the Arsenal fans. If this doesn't work out, it can be all gone out the window. So it'll be interesting how that all pans out for him.
Yeah, I like that. That's it right there. Like I said, from fans, I believe he's under severe pressure. I think fans are looking at Arteta to win either the Premier League or the Champions League. However, if he doesn't, because I don't see City, I don't see Arsenal winning either of those trophies. I don't think the board will sack him. The fans may call for it. You may get more Arteta out depending on how badly they fall out, because minimum, they have to challenge for the title. You can't, it's in the title already here. They've signed Yuri and Timber. They've signed, Rice will be there soon. You sign Havertz, they might sign someone else. So you've invested money and had a title charge last season. So this next season, you need to do the same. And I don't think necessarily they will. I don't think they will necessarily.
See, my thing is just the amount of money that Arteta has spent in this trusted process nonsense. You gotta give results. The fact that, see, the funny thing is here, and this is why I think Arsenal fans as well, because they're always acceptance of going all these cup competitions early because but we charged them for the league. We were charged them for top 4. This year, I don't want to see no second round exit in the FA Cup or Carabao Cup. Because we charged them for the league and Champions League. Nah. They need, for me, I think it's a failure of the season if they don't win anything. Even if they challenge, but it don't win anything, it's a failure of the season, I believe.
So do you guys think he's under pressure to win the Prem?
From the fans?
No,
I think from the fans, there's the pressure to win the league.
Yes. From some fans, yes. But we know what Arsenal fans are like. They'll use the excuse of Man City being Man City. They can spend all this money and break in the they'll use that as an excuse. That's what they did that with when United were great, by the way, as well. Oh, United, they've got all the money. Chelsea have all the money. What do you expect Wenger to do?
Yeah,
Arsenal fans are Arsenal fans, man.
Yeah, because
this is what I saw the other day, right? They're like, I don't know who was talking about it. He said, someone said that, okay, Arsenal should be winning the league this season, next season, because they have no more excuses. Arteta has all the players he wants. He was that close last year. Now he's getting this whole midfield, blah blah blah, right? And then the other guy said that, you like when everyone predicts that who's going to win the league, no one's going to predict Arsenal to come above City. So how are you going to do that, but also put the same pressure on him on the other side? And
that's what I was just going to bring up. That was Rance and Redmondinho yesterday.
That was
the exact combo. Yeah, that was the exact combo.
What was the exact combo? So one of them was saying.
So Rance was basically saying like, "Yo, there's no more excuses for Arsenal. They played well last year. They invested more. Arteta has had 5 seasons now. He has all his players. There's no excuses. The pressure's on to win the Prem." And then Redmond was saying, okay, but at the end of the day, City are favorites, right? Like Arsenal aren't supposed to win because City are the favorites. Everyone's gonna say that they're gonna win. Like you can't say the pressure's on Arsenal to win something that they're not favorites for. That's what his point was. So that's what the back and forth was.
I hear both sides in regards to, yes, City are the favorites. So expecting Arsenal to do it is unreasonable. I do agree with that. But then on the flip side, then what we all have to admit when we admit that is Arteta and Arsenal are not that good.
Exactly.
You spent 600 million and we still don't think you can topple Pep and Manchester City. This is Manchester United with Ten Hag in this situation.
They have to get closer.
Ten Hag's not the man for the job. Go get somebody else. We
and
spent
yeah,
700 million, and it's his team, so it's his team, and we spent 600 million over 3-4 years, been in a title race, fell short, etc., etc. Then eventually it gets to the point where, okay, you aren't the man for the job. I'm just not hearing, well, it's Pep and it's Manchester City. Go get the next manager.
That's the standard, though. Like, if City are really good, then the standard's just raised, and you have to reach that standard. Like, they dropped off with a couple games left to go. Now, in my opinion, if they're not contending for the title by the final day of the season, they failed.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's where I disagree, because a lot of them do believe that their team is good enough. So that means
all the more reason then.
That means
but at least be there by the final day.
That's my point. That's why the expectation has to be there. It makes sense that James would say that, though. Liverpool fans did this whole thing of we've got the best manager, best centre backs, best fullbacks, etc. But yet we can't win the Premier League against City because they've got all the money and they're better than us. Like, of course, Liverpool fans will play underdogs. If you believe your team's that good, it doesn't matter City or Man City. Same with
that's it. That's my thing is, if you accept that City are indeed better and the manager's better, that's cool. I don't disagree with that, because Emma said, aren't they favorites? City are favorites. But then once your manager, who you rate, has spent 500, 600 million, has his team, if that's still not good enough, he's not good enough. So therefore, how can you back that process? He's had everything in his power. Arteta could not have been given any more by the Arsenal board to go and succeed. How much more money do you need to spend? This is now your team. So if we are admitting, which I actually agree with, that City are better and Pep is better, you are not good enough for the job. Therefore, go and get somebody else and start this again. Because you are not up to the mark, which is not a shot. That's just the facts of the matter.
What I always say is, right, a different comparison. So look at the Ballon d'Or, for example, right? We can all agree, as much as I hate to admit it, Messi is better than Ronaldo, right? From the time Messi won his first Ballon d'Or to his last, what the thing is, he's the best player in the world, right? There's no one that comes close to him. So he should have won every single one. But guess what? He didn't. Modric won one in between. Benzema won one. Ronaldo won a couple. So the thing is, he might be the best player, but that season he didn't play the best. The award is given to the player or the team that plays the best, not the best team, right? So look at the 1920 season. You could still argue Man City were the best team in the world at that time, but they didn't play the best that season. So therefore they didn't win the Premier League trophy. So
they didn't win the Champions League.
Exactly.
You're right.
So Arsenal, at one point in, I think it was late January, early February, they were 8 points clear with a game in hand. So they could have gone 11 points clear. That is more than enough a cushion that they could have gone and won the league. You look at, so people say, oh no, but we had to play City twice. Look at the fixtures they dropped. The West Ham game, the Southampton game, the Everton game, all those.
Liverpool.
Like, that's not Man City being good. That's just you guys fumbling it. That's all it is.
Yes, it's both. Yeah. It's both. The City went on
That's
that
all
run,
it
but
is.
yeah, Arsenal fumbling it as well.
Exactly.
And that's what I don't like is people playing both sides in terms of giving credit to City. That's all well and good. But like I keep stating, you're admitting in that essence that Arsenal and Arteta are currently not good enough. So how much do they need?
Exactly.
Do they need $1 billion? Does Arteta need $1 billion to go? So say he spends even more money over the next 2-3 years. It's at 600. So let's say next season he spends another 200, and then the next season another 200. Then he's at $1 billion. Are we still going to be having the same conversation in 2025?
No, because then they'll say Man City spent $2 billion.
Yeah, but it's like, and that's the excuses. Like it's like how much? So then it's like, all right, say he gets up to $500 million, $2 billion, $3 billion. How much more excuses is it just going to be? It can't just be City and Pep are better. Go get someone who can topple Pep. Because even though he's had the best team every season he's been here, he's not always won the league. He's not always won the Champions League.
Everyone especially Arteta like this, right? Everyone, you compare him to Oli. Oli finished second, and Oli got to a European final. The only thing Arteta has above him is that he won a trophy in his first season. I know it's crazy example, but if you really look at it, what has Arteta really done above Oli? Oli didn't finish ever. Oli didn't finish 8th. He wasn't in the Europa League every year. He qualified for the Champions League, and we got down to it. But at least we were in the Champions League to begin with. This is Arteta's first year in the Champions League. Bro, it's uncomfortable conversations.
He did
the same shit. We were on course until we lost the league by 9 points as well, same as them. They just finished on a higher point tally. What's the difference?
The difference is
I'm not saying that Arteta is the level of Oli. I think he's a much better manager, but
no, Murtaza, stand your ground, bro.
Sometimes you just have to give results. Trophies are the currency of football. If you don't win, it don't matter. Look, how many great sides have we seen? But they haven't won shit. Like the Tottenham sides. They're one of some of the best teams we've ever seen in the Premier League. But they didn't win shit. Played some of the best football. Who gives a fuck? If you don't win shit,
the fans of the team,
and that's what. Yeah. The Arsenal team last year wasn't as good as the City one, but they were performing better. Yeah, they have better.
Yeah,
players.
They got into a position where they should have won it. That's the thing.
Yes, they were in a crazy. And this year, I don't think there's any excuses. Or it has to be one or the other. You either, my dad says it to me all the time. You're either pregnant or you're not pregnant. There's no in between. So either Arteta and all these guys are as good as everyone says they are, or they're not as good as everyone says they are.
And that's the conversation that people are reluctant to have, which I don't like. Like I said, I have no issue with saying Pep's better. Like I keep saying City's better, and I'm gonna keep drumming this point home 110%. But then just admit Arteta and Arsenal are not it. Which is cool. You know what I'm saying? Let's stop this because we can't praise Arteta, praise Arsenal, give them full props, but then say, it's okay for them to fall short because it's up against City when you have all of the same resources. You can spend it's not money, you have enough money to spend to go and compete because you had enough money to be in a legit title race. You had enough
How much
money
have they spent this summer now?
Total.
210 million.
Enough.
Is that including Rice?
Yes.
Yeah, that would be including Rice.
And they could potentially still go on to buy more.
I reckon they'll make another signing. Yeah,
that's 210 million pounds.
If it's your team, if Arteta, I'm sorry, if this is I'm keeping the same energy because if it's Ten Hag in this situation, I'm looking at it going, either you deliver or you're not good enough. I'm telling you either or. I'm not praising Ten Hag, but then going, we're falling second and it's okay because City are just better. No, the manager we currently have is not good enough then. Because like I said, if you're spending 600 M's on the team, possibly more, going up to 700-800, guess what? I'm expecting a major trophy. Once my manager spends 600 million, I'm expecting a major trophy. Ten Hag got to deliver a major trophy, or otherwise you are not good enough.
Exactly.
You're not good enough.
That's the thing, bro. This is what they said last season. Saka is the best right winger in the world. He's better than Salah. Martinelli, best left winger. They had the best midfield in Partey, Odegaard, and Xhaka. Zinchenko, best inverted fullback type thing. Saliba, best young center back in the world. Doing all of that, and you didn't win shit. So you praise these guys, saying that like when you do combined 11s, all of this team of the season, yeah, these guys are the best in their position. Then if they're that good, then they should go on and win it, right? Or it's one or the other. Either you failed and they won't even admit that. They won't even admit that it was a bottle job. They won't even admit that. So either it's that or your players aren't good enough. It's one or the other. You can't have
one or
both.
the other. And that's the conversation they don't want to have. Times either you bottled it or your team's not good enough.
Exactly. Because they hate because remember, there's a clip of
yes.
There's a clip of Don Robbie talk. I think I don't know who he talked to with, but he was talking when you go back then when we was challenging and we didn't win the titles or Champions League and stuff like that. He's obviously calling Tottenham butlers. But then when somebody mentioned that to him,
I think he was on the overlap.
Yeah, it was in the overlap. Yeah, and then I think one of the former players was talking about. Then he asked him to bottle it, and he said, "I don't like the term bottler."
Yeah, of course you don't like the term bottler. Of course you don't like it, but you're happy to apply that to your rivals. You're happy to say, "But Spursy," that's what that means. That's the same thing. Spursy became a verb, which means bottler. But when it's attached to you and you like having what you did in this league title just gone, then it's a question of what's it called? Then it's nah, I don't like that term. That's not
it's because everything's so nice and so positive, and they're enjoying the moment. But
yes,
when things go by, and it's been 2, 3, 4 seasons, and this cycle of young players they've either grown up to be in their 30s, like what happened with Spurs, or the likes of Saka, Martinelli end up leaving and going to Man City or going to Real Madrid. Eventually, they'll come to it and say, "We had a great team, or potentially great team, but didn't do anything with it." Like what happened with Spurs. We had this team, had this manager, we challenged, but we didn't win.
And this is the one thing I say about two Spurs fans. They still to this day, even like suck off the team. Like, yeah, I love the team too. I think the team, I go as far as saying that like that team definitely should have won the Premier title, at least in my opinion. Especially during the period where Pep didn't even settle yet in the league as well. So 100% should have won the league. That's why I don't praise the team that didn't do anything. Like, yeah, I can appreciate the talent that was on the team, but I don't go to the levels of I'm not going to high levels to defend that team, because at the end of the day, the team didn't succeed at anything. So it's like it goes both ways, and it goes back to the manager, and it goes back to the team as well, but especially the manager, because everybody was very quick to judge Poch in that situation. But then when it comes to Arteta, it's kind of fine because he's disciple of Pep.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
Just to clarify, I don't think that Arsenal team or Arteta is good enough. So that's why I'm not expecting them to win. Like even last season when they was ahead, there's no stream of me anywhere saying Arsenal will win the league. I was like, oh, why are you not saying Arsenal will win the league? I said at one point they were favorites for it, which they was, but I never once said Arsenal will win the league because I have my doubts in regards to not only the manager, also the team as well. Because we was again on Big Six Bands, we was having this discussion yesterday because Mons was talking about, it was about Henderson and Fabinho leaving, and he was talking about experience. And I was saying how experience is one of the most overrated attributes of a player, because a player can be experienced and still not be good enough. And he's like, well, if Arsenal, and I said, the reason why Arsenal didn't win the league wasn't their young players. When the going got tough, their experienced players didn't do the business. Thomas Partey didn't do the business. Granit Xhaka didn't do it. Don't talk about Saka, who's 21. I'm looking at my senior players. Arteta, the manager as well. Like, that's who I'm looking at. How old's Ben White?
Gabriel Jesus as well. He's experienced. He fell apart. He was crap at the end, right?
Zinchenko.
Your senior players stand up because
even Odegaard falls into the category.
Yeah, because when the going gets tough, and when you look at previous Manchester United ties, like people talk about the class of 92. What got the class of 92 through that period, like that tough season when Manchester United first won that league, was the senior players. Yeah, the class of 92 will get the plaudits because of the story. But Gary Neville mentioned it. He said, if we would have came into that team and them senior players were not there, we would have not been successful. Even with the manager they had, even with the talent they had, there was still experienced players. You had Roy Keane in that team. Pallister was in that team. I think Ince was in that team. Cantona was in that team. Like, there's players of what's it called? Of serious serious quality and serious experience as well. And that's what failed Arsenal. Like, people will look at Saka and run jokes, oh, Saka fell off. I'm not looking at my 21-year-old to deliver me my first league title. Where's my senior guys? Where are my guys who are 24 and above? Where's Jesus, who we mentioned, who's won league titles? Where's Zinchenko, who's won league titles? Thomas Partey, who's played in Champions League last stages, and I believe won a league title for Atletico Madrid as well. Granit Xhaka, you know what I'm saying? Who's your captain? That's who I'm looking at. Is those four in particular. Ben White, I'll throw in the mix as well because you're older. You're older. How old's Ben White?
25.
25.
Yeah, he's in the mid-20s, yeah.
It's when you look at it as well, like when Arsenal were winning games last season and they were doing very well and going on the runs, etc. You know, all the Arsenal fans were saying, "Oh, look at Jesus and Zinchenko. Look at the impact they've had in terms of their winning mentality, their winning experience." And then all of a sudden, when those guys disappear at the end of the season and they bottle the title, it's a different story at the end of the day. You know, you have to keep the same energy that you were saying when you were doing well.
Murtaza, what you were saying about it's similar to Oli.
They was brought in to help with that. Zinchenko and Jesus in particular were brought in to help with that. Oh, this is the difference maker. This is what's getting us over the line. That winning experience at City. It's not on Saka. I'm saying, yes, he has a part to play, but I'm sorry, I'm not looking at my 20, 21-year-old to be the guys that, yo, where's my senior guys who've been here before? Like, yeah, go on, Brian.
Yeah, what Murtaza was saying about how it's similar to Oli, it's true. And this is why I say attacking football, people get blinded by it because with Oli, because you guys finished third and you finished second, but because it's defensive football, and yes, there's other flaws with Oli, I'm not defending him, because it's defensive football, people will say, oh, we're not actually progressing, we're not doing anything. But yeah, with Arsenal, because it's nice and it's attacking and it's fluid, people think that they're better than they actually are. When in reality, Murtaza said it, was it 12 points difference? Or 6 points difference?
I think 9 points, he said.
It was significant.
9 points difference finished behind City. At the end of the day, you were both in positions top to win the league, but you didn't because you both weren't good enough.
Exactly. It's the same thing with the Poch situation. Like, it's extremely similar with this Poch situation.
And Spurs were never top, though. Spurs were never top.
No, I'm talking about just in general. I'm talking about general as like season. I'm talking general, but I'm talking more about the play style. Because the only reason why Arsenal think that team was much better, or why the team they're flexing that they played a better way to second than United did under Oli. Like they're flexing about how they finished second with a beautiful style of football. But like, who the fuck cares about the style of football? You finish second. You still the Luigi fan. Like they are what Liverpool fans did back then when they were talking. Like Prime, I think said that every single position had the best players, they're playing the best football, but still couldn't win over City.
Right, and before we continue, hey, likes is way too low. Still over 45 of you lot in the building, only at 32 likes. Scales up to 40 likes, people. Like check 1212. Let's hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button as well. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Subscribe to the channel, Sarcasm City TV as well. We need 2 more subscribers. Girls to 7,195. I know there's at least 2 of you lot watching right now. Hit that subscribe button. I don't think just because you're watching back, it don't apply to you. Yes, it does, people. Hit that like button if you are watching this back after the live. Hit the subscribe button as well, because the likes is way too low and you're clearly here enjoying the content as well. Moving on, 1 second. Where did I want to get to? There was another question.
Can I say one last thing though?
Yeah, go on.
Jazz, remember when you said about Don Robbie saying he doesn't like the word bottle and all this shit? You know what the thing is? I said this 3-4 months ago. I'll say it again. The only reason they're not trying to claim this thing is because they're so afraid to be Spurs. Bro, they've done the exact same thing. But the one thing they have over Tottenham is, oh, you guys are butlers, you guys don't win shit, blah, blah, blah. But they're following the exact same pathway.
The more things, the bigger butlers.
They finished second, bottled the league on even bigger, like the biggest bottle job in Premier League history. Because no one had, every single team that were in Arsenal's point had gone on to win the league at that point. They were the only one. They were on top for the longest time, 93%.
Yeah,
they're so afraid to be Spurs. That's why they don't want to claim this bottle job tag. That's why. Because at the start of the season, we weren't favorites to do this. But let's say if United had towards the end fallen off and finished outside the top 4, everyone would say, even them, oh, you guys bottled top 4. But they don't want to claim that. It's the craziest thing.
They've had the best. I think it's the best ever start in Arsenal's history to a league season, and one of the best starts in Premier League history to a league season. And it didn't win.
At the halfway line, yeah, it was the best.
Yeah, bro.
Do you know what else I hate?
After 19 games, on track to finish on 100 points.
Yep.
Do you know what I hate as well? It's the whole if Saliba hadn't got injured and stuff like that as well. Like, you don't get me wrong, like Rob Holding ain't that good, but your team was still good enough to beat West Ham, Southampton,
when did Saliba
and good enough to hold on to a 2-goal lead when you were playing us off the park at Anfield. It was
when did Saliba get injured?
Like, come on.
When did he get injured?
Does anyone else here think that if Saliba had stayed fit, that Arsenal would have won the league? Because I still don't think they would have.
No, like you can just see anyways, like mentally.
When did Saliba get injured though?
I'm looking later
March 12th,
end of the season.
March 12th.
March 12th.
Yeah,
Lisbon, I think.
This Sporting game. I'll be wrong though. I don't believe that. Even the fact, bro, they had so many games where they had even leads and they've bottled it. So it's not Saliba.
Exactly.
Anyway,
because Rob Holding, not to my knowledge, didn't make any mistakes.
Yeah, it's just
but they say he affected their style of play and stuff.
Yeah, no, there's nonsense.
They couldn't play high line as well and stuff like that.
So your manager and style and system is not that good enough if one player can be so detrimental. It's not that good. Yeah. That's what I was saying. I've said that. Me and Babs had that conversation on Big Six when he was trying to use the Saliba thing. So I said, all right, one man affects it. Your team and system's not that good then.
But I swear at that point, Tomiyasu was fit. So Ben White could have played centre.
Nah, he'd got
no. Tomiyasu wasn't fit.
He was injured at that point as well. Hey, so you don't have squad. Oh, fair enough.
And again, that ties back into them going into the window in January, which they did, and he signed the centre back. But clearly he was so that's bad. Yeah, that's just bad business then. If he can't go in there and play ahead of Rob Holding. But hey, man, we move. Dennis says, what are the panel's opinion on Kyle Walker apparently leaving Manchester City? Because if Walker leaves and we get Mbappe and they apparently get Pavard, I would be confident against them in the Champions League. Yeah, Dennis, it'd be very... The fact that this news initially came out, because this was a few weeks ago, that Kyle Walker could potentially leave Bayern Munich, were interested. I think City would be silly to let him go because he's the only profile of defender like that they have.
He will go though, because once a player's unhappy there, Pep just says they always get rid of him, and he clearly wants to go to Bayern Munich in it. So I think he'll go there. To be fair, I don't rate. I'm not.
He already has personal terms agreed. To be honest, like it's just only the clubs haven't not to.
Yeah, I just think they should have done more. They could have done more to make him one. Yeah, like they didn't. Yeah. They see.
Playing devil's advocate though, don't you feel like also that Walker just might be in a time where like I want to try something new though?
I understand why Walker himself wants to leave.
Because if that's the case, for me, it's like
bro,
you just came off a treble, so like
treble, yeah.
So it's like it's just let the guy go. To be honest, like especially
he was starting to play less and less as well as the season went on as well. You could kind of see.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like even though I think they shouldn't, it's like the Bernardo Silva situation. I said already before. He's been rumored the way linked to the club is for time. And it's been also known for time as well that he wants to go. But the only difference is that nobody puts the money front that they're asking for in it. But for Walker, I think they're looking at the same situation. As long as you pay the money, we're letting him go. And the players, and it also depends if the player is very open for the move as well. And I think Walker is just at the time in his career where like I think other than the Club World Cup, I think he pretty much completed football in terms of club level.
Yeah, pretty much so. Yeah, the major trophies without doubt. It's just weird, like if they do indeed let him go, I think he would be a very good signing for Bayern Munich, 110%. Secondly, as well, I don't think Pavard. It's weird that City got linked to Pavard.
I'm not. Yeah, that surprised me.
Bro, I can see. I don't rate him. I don't rate him. But I can understand in terms of like what Pep is probably looking for from him.
I get what Pep's looking for. It's just the fact that
the player himself.
They're not the same.
It's like the Mount situation.
Profile. Yeah, like he's like, don't get mistaken. Pavard will go there and be fine. Like that City system, he will be fine. Yeah. It's just that I thought they would look for someone else. Yeah, he'll be fine there.
Bro, that guy is ass, bro.
He will be fine. He will be fine.
People thought Kanji was ass.
Yeah, especially if a Kanji can do well. If a Kanji can do well,
Kanji has PMP. He has something to his game.
But the thing,
Pavard will be okay. I don't rate him either.
No, but this is the thing though. But that's my thing with Tarsa though. I felt like even back in the Bundesliga, even if he has PMP, I've said this before, I've still felt that Pavard was a better player in the Bundesliga than Akanji was with Dortmund. and I generally thought that would be a flop for City. So he's not gonna do terrible. I would be surprised if he does terrible in that system, particularly unless the whole system falls apart. Anyways, and I think another thing as well is I think he's just going to play centre back as well. He's gonna be like a backup option.
Like the second thing as well, Dennis, I don't rate Pavard either. He's not good. But the point is, one, he's technically good enough to fit in Pep's system. And two, I don't think he's going to be starting week in, week out anyway. He's going to be a squad player.
He'll be Calvin Phillips.
He's going to be a squad player. He won't be quite Calvin Phillips, but not far off. Like, he's not
close enough.
Starting. He's not going to be starting week in, week out. Put it this way, I think we see Pavard less than we've seen Kyle Walker this season.
Big up, you man. I'm out. Yeah.
All right, let's go, Timo.
I wouldn't be surprised with that.
If anyone presses Pavard, bro, this guy shits his pants, bro. He's scared shitless.
Just gonna say, like, nobody
panics so much.
You don't have to convince me about how bad Pavard is. I don't rate him either.
Yeah, I hope they sign him. I hope.
Like I said, we're not gonna see him often. It could be a Calvin. Like I said, we'll see him less than we've seen Kyle Walker, and we're here talking about Kyle Walker getting a limited amount of appearances. He'll be fine. Trust me, in that system with them players, he'll be absolutely fine. 110%. Plus, they've still not signed him anyway. It's just interest, which I was surprised about. I was. Yeah, he's a squad player. Like, so you should rarely see him. And that City system, we know how elite it is. I don't think he's really going to be detrimental.
Oh, man.
Maybe the odd Champions League game. Yes, Simon, what are you saying? You good?
Well, that's how he did.
Yeah, man. All good, fam.
Leave, man. Go away.
Man, why are you hating for, bro? I'm just here to say hi. You know, I'm saying enjoy myself. What are you saying, man?
Fuck's sake, the AFCON Gallagher's here, man.
Listen, man, keep hating on Gallagher, bro. He's staying at the football club. You know what I'm saying? Remontada.
Yeah, man. He's just starting.
What did you say? What did you say?
Did you just hear what he said?
Yeah, man.
He said Gallagher Remontada. You're back
You're a Gallagher fan, man.
I'm just saying that as a joke. Like, why is everyone just getting so
serious? You like Gallagher, it's okay, man.
Bro said Remontada, you know. Fuck
Ahmed, you haven't been here 20 seconds and you're getting rushed, man.
No, I'm saying.
Man, just want to rush me, innit? You know what I'm saying? This
He's the Pavard of this panel, man. The Pavard of this panel.
I mean, I'm just Drogba up front by myself, you know what I mean? Pacing like
Man said I'm Drogba.
Hey, you know what he is? He's Weghorst, bro. He's AFCON Weghorst.
No, Jez. You know that Southampton striker, the guy is 6'7". What's his name?
Wasn't his name Pillar?
No, the guy who's 6'7" that just bought for now. That's called the World Cup together. Yeah, that's Ahmed.
No. Ahmed is Havertz, just killing the stream, man.
It's crazy. Let me get through these next few questions anyway. Hey, final few questions, people, before we do indeed close out in the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. Let's bump up the likes. So we're still short of 40 likes. What we doing, man? Like check's been way too long. Let's bump up the likes. Hit that subscribe button as well. Eddie says, well, go on to the panel. Big up to Eddie every single time. Catch him 10:30 p.m. as well on the Man United podcast. Hey, Alam, I told them about the Canada team roster. Shai and Murray in the backcourt is looking spooky. Alam, gassed about this, I'm guessing?
Oh, yeah. First time ever we've had SGA and Jamal Murray in that shirt at the same time. So we're going to get a first look of what that looks like. Obviously, the rest of our team isn't as strong, but at the end of the day, if you have a 1-2 punch like that, you should be able to deal with most teams. Obviously, the U.S. is going to be a much more well-rounded team. You might give the edge to some of the better European sides because of chemistry, but we should be up there. Looking forward to seeing that. And real quick, I'll plug on Toronto Hoop Talk, my channel, where we will be doing FIBA World Cup content. So tap in there, subscribe so you don't miss when it happens. End of August, we will be there no matter what.
Hey, one of the mods, please put Alam's channel, the link for his channel in the comment section. Same for Ahmed's channel as well. So Toronto Hoop Talk, The Bridge 258. One of the mods put both of their channels, please, in the comment section, and both links to both their channels and Lewis's as well, all underneath in the description as well. Not just on this live stream, on every other live stream as well. So Lewis's channel, Alam's channel, Ahmed's channel, links for all three underneath in the description. So go support, go subscribe, people. Make sure you do so. Final few questions as well. Let's see what else you are saying. Yeah, that is definitely a squad player. Which one?
The last one you had up.
I have no idea what it was. I just clicked on that to click off. Oh, Eddie's comment. All right, bear with me 1 second.
No, not Eddie's.
So which comment from
Shakar? He has a question. Shakar has a comment for Ahmed.
Oh, this guy, you're a joke, man. We ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Joke,
man, that brother needs
He's
to stay
injured.
off his
Like,
knees,
it is
man.
what it is.
Bro, if his knees are okay, man, you know what I mean? That Sam guy, yeah, he's actually, he was really trying to do some. He was even injured, bro. He was trying to spice it up, man. Let's not say
No.
man. These ITKs, man.
He was right,
Spice it
though.
up.
Like, they did a scan on his knee.
He was right.
Apparently, he just needs to stay off his knees, man.
He's not injury. Yo, you need to
He's not
relax. That was a
injured.
crazy sentence, bro.
That's
That
pause,
was-
man. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's
You see that,
crazy.
bro?
That's
You're not
crazy.
through, man. I don't know what's going on with you.
You see that
man.
follow through?
man.
I didn't
Hey,
even
that
see-
ain't me. That him, bro.
What you mean
That's
that
him,
ain't you?
bro.
You said
Hey,
it, man.
bro, that's a
You
you
free,
problem,
man.
bro.
Hey, the air Chicago's
Hey,
different.
chill out, chill out,
What do
chill
you
out.
mean? How you keep saying AA chill out for something you said?
Exactly, bro.
Are you on drugs? You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
This guy was saying some
Probably.
shit, and then you're like, hey,
That's
chill out.
a wrap.
Flawless,
You know what I'm
Flawless,
saying?
he was
No, I'm
Flawless,
asking
he
the
was
question. I'm lost because you continue
Flawless,
to
on
do this.
Sunday he was high on the Casually FC channel. I'm sure of it, man. He was
Facts.
high.
You say
He was high, man.
some zesty pause worthy shit and then tell us to chill out for something you said. Yes, you.
Oh,
what I'm
no,
saying?
you tripping.
But
You
how am I
tripping.
tripping? Did you not just say that? You tripping? Did you not just say man needs to stay off his knees, or am I incorrect?
Yes,
Hey,
that's what
man.
he said,
What
bro.
do you mean,
Hey.
hey man, for saying you said? Don't let me run down the list as well, because we can carry
That's
on
him,
as
though.
well.
That's not me.
I'm saying
What
you
what
said
you
it.
talking about?
Nobody said that. You
Yes.
said that.
Yeah, I said that, but like that's for him.
That's pause worthy. You don't need to say that.
Nah. See,
What do you mean?
tripping.
Nah. You don't need
Nah,
to say
nah,
that.
nah,
You love saying zesty shit, man. You got a problem.
See, that's the
Time
thing,
out,
though,
man.
because
Time
it's
out.
not
Time
him.
out.
It's not him because we know about any of that with him.
Time out. Time out.
Certain you said, you know what I'm saying? This guy
Time out,
always
time
saying
out, time
zesty
out.
shit and then telling me to chill out. You chill out.
Time out,
You know what I'm
time
saying?
out, time out.
Let's
Nah,
not
nah,
run
nah.
down what you said yesterday as well in the
Nah,
group
nah,
chat.
nah,
You need
nah.
to chill out. Let's not
Wait,
do
what
that.
did he say yesterday?
Time out.
Let's
Time
not
out.
do that.
Time
This
out.
guy, man. What you mean time out?
What
You
did
need to
Ahmed is living.
What did
This guy.
Murtaza say yesterday?
This guy, go check in it. It was about the Reece James picture.
Oh,
Hey,
that
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, this
Just
guy's a
say
freak.
anything.
Doing
Yeah,
too
yeah,
much, man.
yeah,
You gotta
yeah.
chill out, man.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm
Saying,
saying.
drink some water
Hey,
or
bro.
something,
Hey,
man.
hey,
How you
hey, at
saying
least
A for certain you said this is what I don't understand.
But I didn't
You
say anything
said this
yesterday,
shit.
though. What you
You
talking
didn't
about?
say yes. All right, okay. You didn't say nothing
Bro,
yesterday.
hey,
Okay.
Alright, I'm not gonna say
at
it
least
on
with
stream.
me,
Alright.
at least with me, I
Okay.
just want Reece James to lose weight. I'm not on what Murtaza's.
He's
Yeah, I
lost
don't know
Hey,
what
hey,
Taz
see,
is on,
see,
man.
see, now
Taz
you
is
wildin'.
why
See, now you
Taz
wildin'.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
you
know
gotta
what
lose
he
weight.
wants.
But
But he actually lost weight. He looks like he's lost weight, I would say. From
I don't know.
Ahmed,
We got the
Ahmed,
Weight
it's
Watchers
Cameron,
chiming in right now.
hey, I'm saying we need to
Yeah,
check those calories, man.
Weight Watchers, man. Weight Watchers are after him right now.
We got the Weight Watchers chiming in right now, people.
Come on, man. Shout out to Saeed. That clip's hilarious, man. I watched that shit.
Alright,
daily, so
that
shout out
clip
my
is
guy
actually
Saeed,
very
man. That shit is
Yeah,
brilliant.
that clip is legendary.
Guy's
That clip is
brilliant.
legendary.
Bro, how did he? Bro, he
That's
corrected
brilliant.
himself right away. That shit was hilarious.
That's just,
Right, because he knew
I
what's
was
coming, bro.
howling.
Like he knew somebody's
I was
gonna clip that
howling.
shit and put it
Oh
on Twitter.
God.
It's not just
I
what
was
he
howling.
said, though. It's how he said it. Like, there was some vim with how he said it, right? If he said it like a little bit unsure, it wouldn't have been that crazy, but it's way more crazy with how he said it.
Hey, blame Flawless, man, for being flawless, man.
How was it me?
Man, Flawless, you lay up, bro. You laid up, man. You're not saying you
You
laid
set
up.
him up.
Yeah,
You
you
laid
just
up.
alley
You're not saying, yeah, man.
How did I
Not
lay
saying.
it up?
Come
We
up,
were talking
come up.
about. We were talking.
You were
Yo,
doing
here's the
that-
thing.
you
Nah,
were-
here's the thing.
We're
I gotta
talking
say
about
this because Flawless has been catching it for that, and I don't understand why. Because Flawless asked a yes or no question. A yes or no question is not leading you into no wild shit. Saeed did that
No,
on his own.
Alam,
He
you're
knows
right.
what Flawless, what
Alam,
Saeed's about, though.
You're
He's
right,
a-
but it's
he's a
Flawless.
bad guy. I'm
No,
telling
no.
you, bro.
You're right.
Yeah,
but
okay,
it's
go ahead,
flawless.
Ram. Go ahead.
It's flawless, though. It's flawless.
Yeah,
That's
Any
what
other
I'm saying.
person
It's
I'd
fine.
agree with
That's
you.
just
I agree.
unfair.
It's
Like
fine.
the thing is, we were just talking about biscuits. You know what I'm saying? That's all that
Hey,
was. It was a
bro.
biscuit conversation.
Nah, don't do that.
We were talking
Don't do
about
that.
legit
Flawless, you know what you were
Doggy
doing. You
biscuits,
knew
bro.
what you were
Hey,
doing.
yo.
rich tea. We're talking about legit like biscuits, and then yeah, like I get what he was trying to say. It was just the wrong everything. Like
Yeah.
I fully get what
You're
he
trying
was
to
Hey,
say,
yo.
you were trying to say he lets the biscuits is, but you know what I'm saying?
I get what you're trying to say, yeah, because you don't. Because obviously, I don't like what I
Dunk it
already
into
think
tea,
tea
I know
like
you
that.
mean,
But yeah,
yeah.
if you're dipping the biscuit in a biscuit into tea, obviously you don't want it to break. That's what you should have said.
Yeah.
I don't want the biscuit
You
to
don't want
break
it to
when I
break,
dip it in
yeah.
the tea. But the way he said it was just
Yeah.
that's just the wrong everything.
Oh, my
And then his
God.
immediate response to it is what makes it funny because he was like, he knew he was gonna get clipped. He's like,
Yeah, he
"Oh,
knew it
no,
was fucked
even
straight
Flaw,"
away.
He was like, no,
Creamy, though.
people don't and it's like, all right, but yeah, man. Shout out to my guy Saeed every single time, man. Shouts to Saeed as well. And Shakira, in regards to you mentioned here about the Onana situation, and one, I can't sing, so no, I'm definitely not singing. Secondly, you said this Onana shit taking ages, man. They said this week, the week's still going on.
It's gonna get finalized. So.
Can I say something about this?
Go on,
bro.
Yeah, the floor's yours.
We always get cooked. Oh, United overpay for players. Blah 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 blah. Right? Now we're trying to take our time, trying to pay less for players and trying to save as much as money as possible. Now we're like, oh, now we're taking long, bro. These people are never happy.
It's true. It's
they're mad when we pay too much, but it's quick. United paid too much. Why did we? This is such an overplay. Blah blah blah. But now we're taking our time, trying to save as much money as possible, trying to find the best deal for us and them. Oh, this shit is taking ages. Oh, but what's wrong with these guys, bro? Everyone on Twitter, especially. I'm not talking about
to their credit, Murtaza, you overpay on players that aren't worth it.
Bro, but it's overpay regardless, right? But so now that we're trying to
not really. If the player's good enough,
it's not the player's good enough or not. It's the principle, right? It's what they're worth and how much you're paying for them. So if you're taking your time trying to save every single penny, do it, bro. The transfer window ends in what? August 31st, 11:59 p.m. Bro, it's July 14th, 1:14 where I'm at right now. Like. Why is everyone tweaking? And everyone's because he wants to fly the preseason tour with the United squad. That's a week from now. They fly out Friday, July 21st. Today is Friday, July 14th. So let's say even the deal gets agreed Monday. He could fly out the same day, do his medical, and then still fly out with the team. Like, why is everyone tripping, bro?
In the sense of like. People say, "Oh, Manchester United move slow." Like we've been no slower or no quicker in regards to when you look at rival clubs around us in terms of signing players and how deals go. Literally, we announced Mount 2 weeks ago, and we're already on to the second signing this week. So let's say it gets done this week or even next week. That's 2 players in the space of 3 weeks. People look at Liverpool. The reason why those 2 deals were done so quick with Szoboszlai and McAllister, minimum fee release clauses. Chelsea haven't signed. Chelsea Caicedo still going on. If that was us, our fan base would be an uproar. Not all, but it'd be an uproar. Spurs, they got the Maddison deal done. Fairly sharpish. That's the only senior player of note they signed. I know they've signed a couple other players as well. Arsenal, look how long. Yeah, look at Arsenal. Look how long it took them. Still not announced. Rice only just now announced Timber. Havertz is a terrible signing as well. So people need to just City still haven't signed anybody.
January, bro.
Yeah, the way people talk about us signing him out, which is a bad signing, don't get mistaken. It's kind of that has to be put onto Arsenal with Havertz as well.
No, but how are you using that to describe him?
Because it's just awful. It's one of the worst. Let's call it spade a spade. It's one on paper, so not after the fact, but I'm saying beforehand, it's the worst signing I've seen from a top 6 club in years. Beforehand. So
agreed.
Not in terms of, I'm not talking about the player signed, we watched him, and then we assessed whether it was a terrible or good sign. I'm talking about before he's played a competitive match. I can't remember a worse signing for a top 6 side than Kai Havertz. It would have been Mason Mount, but they topped us with it. Beforehand, no. Now, after the fact, different conversation. But when you sign Lukaku, it wasn't deemed as bad as Arsenal signing Havertz. It was deemed as, all right, maybe this can work to an extent. But obviously it went wrong. I'm not talking about in hindsight. That's a whole different conversation.
CR7
the season or 2 seasons.
Nah,
our fan base was gassed.
Yeah, even then.
Yeah, but there are also there's also
Juventus.
Yeah,
but at Juventus, Ronaldo was still doing something at least. Kai Havertz.
Yeah, Ronaldo still had more. That's a great point, Jez. Ronaldo had more. He had more credit in the bank than Havertz. At least he was coming off doing something at Juventus, type of thing. So yeah, with the Onana deal, it's kind of the deal will get done. That's what it is. We already know Manchester United don't move the quickest. I'm not happy at the rate in which we move within deals, but I don't believe we're significantly slower than anybody else. It's just that Manchester United moved the needle. We're going to get tweeted about. We're going to get questions about because we moved the needle. So it seems we're slow. Tox made the point when we did the show weeks ago in regards to, oh, United moved slow in the transfer market. There's only 2 players that we've actually made official bid for and offered a contract to. And one of them's here already in Mason Mount. The other's Onana. All this other stuff is just extra shit that don't exist. It's like Kim Min-jae, for instance. We never made a bid to Napoli. All the other people are like, oh, you're moving slow on targets. Name the targets. I'm still waiting. No one can't name me any legitimate targets. Yes, rumors, but there's no one we've offered a contract to and submitted a transfer bid to the club. There's 2 players we've done that to. One of them's here already in Mason Mount, and the other, Højlund.
Yeah.
Did we offer Højlund a contract? I even seen that.
Yeah, we agreed personal terms, and we sent him. We sent Atalanta a bid.
Okay, so 3.
Also with like loans, but I know what you're trying to say. But
yeah, so there's 3 then.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with you. I agree with you.
We've moved along at a quick rate with Højlund. We've offered him a contract. We've made a bid to Atalanta. Now they're rejecting it. A whole different conversation. My point is, it's those 3. There's no one else with. When people say, "Oh, we've been moving slow," on who? Who have we moved slow on? No one can't name anything. But yeah, well,
and Shakar, bro, if you read his tweet, he said Wednesday and Thursday would be crucial for a fee to be agreed, and it has been agreed. It's 50 million plus 5 in add-ons. Now the holdup is only that they're discussing the 5 million in add-ons, like what the achievable add-ons are gonna be, and the payment structure. Everything else is fine.
And then also the paper thing that has to be sorted between the clubs and also the FA and everything. So like
exactly,
even if you get the here we go,
the fee has been agreed.
Yeah, even after the here we go that you get from Fabrizio, there are still certain things that have to be sorted out, like stuff that has to be also being put official to the Premier League, FA, and stuff like that. So these things don't go immediately that quick. And to be fair to United, the another thing after the Mount thing happened came really quickly by. Like it's just the moment that was holding up all, to be honest. But I just want to quickly mention, I just saw my timeline. Reporting Rock Nation Sports have not got involved in enough negotiations to try and break the impasse between Chelsea and Inter Milan for Romelu Lukaku by Matt Law.
Say that again, sorry.
So pretty much Rock Nation is getting involved now in
Hope stepped in.
Yeah,
Rock Nation. Come in as a third party. They're coming in as a third party.
To help Lukaku get this move to Milan now.
Just 1 second before you man go. Shikar, yeah, you're my guy, man. I hear what you're saying. Like I said, but don't as long as the Onana deal gets done by this time, as long as he's announced properly, like, and he's in the shirt by this time next week, I'm cool with it. He's not really missing out. It's not like Manchester United are playing next week Monday. It's not like the season starting and it's the Wolves game. That's when I'd be more concerned. During the month of July, I'm not really concerned about signings like that because preseason, yes, you would prefer a player to get a full preseason, etc., to be at their best, but it's not a necessity. Casemiro joined late. I think we were 4 or 5 games in, and he was one of our standout players. So it legit has. Of course, you prefer all your signings in July 1st, but we don't live in a perfect world. We don't live in a football manager world. Like that's what I do in football. All my signings in by July 1st. But guess what? We know who we're dealing with when it comes to the people, when it comes to the Glazers, and it comes to people dealing with Manchester United's transfer. This is why it's so important to get. New owners.
Wallace, you know what the funny thing is? We're Glazers out, but then we're complaining that they're not acting properly. So
we know what they're like.
It's hilarious, man.
So this is just the thing with United, right? As a club that has the money to overpay, has a history of overpaying and like a reputation for overpaying. If you want to act differently, this is just a part of the process. Like you're gonna have to draw a line in the sand and stick to it. And if teams are gonna try to again like hold you to like prior standards, you're gonna have to be tough in making clear that that's not the case anymore. So Flawless has used the example a lot of like, a girl having a past that doesn't want to do that anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
You have to
100%.
prime the footballing world around you to understand that, okay, this works differently now. So it might take a couple windows of teams being difficult with you, but it's just the price you have to pay to reset how people look at you.
Yeah, and legit, that's it.
That's a wild analogy.
But it's right, yo. The thing is, that's the facts of the matter. If a girl's a hoe, you still gonna look at her as a hoe. You're gonna approach her like she's a hoe. Facts.
So I'm saying like
110%. You know what I'm saying we acting like am I the only one that knows hoes? Like this is a fact.
bro,
you know what I'm
this is
saying?
a
There's
fact.
certain girl that I know.
Yes, you are the only one that knows hoes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
sure, Prime.
you're the only one.
Prime, speak for yourself. Prime, speak for yourself.
We know you've been to Italy. Your DMs and all them gal you follow on Insta says different, but we move.
That's what I'm saying.
I DM.
You know what I'm saying?
I DM.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, your DMs and all them gal you follow on Instagram. Yes.
Yeah, all the gal in Italy.
When I check my search page here and just random shit pops up, I'm like, who is following this more often than not? Your name pops up. But that's a whole different conversation.
Fake news.
Ain't no fake news. People, you can go check it. Go to Aladdin's Prime on Instagram. Check it yourself.
All I'm saying is some of the women. Sometimes I'll be following some of these Twitter mothers, and I see your name there saying who follow too. Like, I see your name, bro. You can't hide.
Ain't nothing wrong with it, man. You but anyways, love to anyone.
Dave, end the stream, bro. Where are you? End the stream.
Dave's not here to help you, but I am. So we are gonna end the stream. Love to everyone that's locked in. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're at 7,194. One more subscriber. Girls to 7,195, please, people. Let's bump up the likes. Likes was low today, but we move people. Big up to Lewis, as always, for the raid. Subscribe to his channel. Subscribe to Ahmed's channel. Subscribe to Alam's channel as well. Make sure you support all of the man them as well. Can one of the mods please put all of the links for those channels I mentioned in the chat? Again,
a video that's released in a way.
Hey,
a video that's released.
Sure bump up the likes.
Can we have more? Can we match the likes? Can we have the same total as Prime's Twitter host, please?
Well, that means drop the likes down to 0. Drop the likes down to 0 then.
Anyways, this guy, but we move. This is crazy. Like his shit ain't public. That's the funniest shit. My man gonna lie.
There's nothing public.
Hey, because Seamer's not here, he knows no one else to go to as well.
Hey, Prime, do you want to die on this hill or do you want me to end the stream?
I told you end the stream 5 minutes ago, but you know.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to do. And you interrupting, so I'm asking you again. Do you want me to close out the stream or do you really want to go with it? YouTube.
Just end the stream, man.
You want me to
he wants the stream to end so he can go.
Guys, let Flawless land. Let Flawless land.
Yeah. You want me to finish the outro? Thank you very much, Prime. You're a star. But yes, love to everyone that's locked in. Big up to everyone who continues to support. We're back live. Back live on the YouTube.
It's up the table you go.
Bro, let him finish this real, bro. What's wrong with you guys, bro?
I can't lie, that's funny though.
No, it's not funny.
Guys, we need the stream to end so Prime can go to IG and get to.
Oh my God, Alam, what is wrong with you?
But we need the stream to end, guys. Come on.
Hey man, you should be Chelsea's DM, Prime, man. The way you work, man. Jesus Christ.
You should be on top of Bully's payroll.
Yeah, man. Hey, let him do the ultra. Goddamn.
Jesus Christ, what's wrong with you?
God damn, bro, you guys tripping.
Big up Warrior
views just went up. I don't know what happened.
Hey, you say he's for the streets.
Yeah.
Guys, Saudis not gonna buy the channel if you keep behaving like this, man.
Big up Warrior J. Anyway, for dropping all the links in the chat. Loud up Warrior J. Love to everyone that's locked in. 10:30 p.m. We're back. Mandem United podcast. That's the Manchester United show. So myself, Eddie, Nero will be on as well. Special guest talking all things Manchester United. That's 10:30 p.m. UK time here on the YouTube channel. Then shows returning on the Twitch. People, boxing show is back. Big nights, big fights, big nights. Only podcast is back. So we'll be talking all things boxing on the Twitch. That's 12:30 a.m. UK time. So half an hour after midnight. I will drop a post on the community page here for when that show is on, people. So for those that check out, keep an eye out on that because I'll do that for the rest of the season as well. In regards to when we're live on the Twitch, I'll always drop a post on the community page here on the YouTube. So we'll be discussing AJ White 2, Usyk Dubois, Fury versus Ngannou, Spence Crawford, answering your boxing questions, plus more people. So they're the two shows coming, the two shows coming up. Like I said, that show will be back tonight. So yeah, man, keep an eye out on the upcoming live stream schedule, people. Girls up to 40 likes as well. Love to everyone that's tuned in. And you will now get the Sarcasm City Sports Q&A on Fridays, 5:30 p.m. That's the new time slot for this show, people. 5:30 p.m. Big up to everyone that has locked in.